where every student matters and where every student feels successful. Some of you might say, so basically, you want every student to be a favorite? Yes, I feel like every student in my school deserves to feel like they are a favorite. To me, this is more than simply closing the achievement gap through our test scores. This is a deeper-seated equity that requires ensuring that every single student is individually planned for, individually pushed, and individually supported to reach their personal, academic, career, and life goals. To do this, we need to personalize. In schools, that means implementing personalized learning for every student and every adult. I want you to think for a minute about your organization. How could your organization feel different or be different if every person feels that they mattered, that they were valued, that they were individually thought of and supported to be successful? Could that change your bottom line? Could that change how happy people were to go to work every day? Could that change how long people spent their careers with your organization? I want to take you to my organization. Welcome to Dewey School of Excellence. Just 5 years ago, Dewey was the third worst school in the state of Illinois. We had 4% of students performing on grade level in reading, and 9% of students performing on grade level in math. Luckily, we were slated for turnaround with the Academy for Urban School Leadership. And we were able to secure 80% of our teachers in our first year of turnaround directly from the Academy for Urban School Leadership teacher residency program. This meant those teachers had trained for an entire year in a turnaround school and were ready to do turnaround work. What that also meant was that all of our students and staff were very much in the same place. All of our students were very far behind grade level. And all of our teachers, or almost all of them, were entering our school in their first year of teaching with the same training and with the same educational philosophy. Now, what that allowed us to do was set up school-wide systems, structures, and supports that met everyone's needs. We were able to get great traction in our first 3 years. We were able to push to get 44% of our students performing on grade level in reading, and 46% of our students performing on grade level in math. However, now we were in a very different position than we were just 3 years prior. We had students still performing at the first percentile, but also students performing at the 97th percentile, and slated to go to some of the top schools in Chicago, such as Walter Payton and Whitney Young. We had that same cohort of teachers who were now entering their 4th year. However, we had also picked up a few new teachers and a few veteran teachers along the way, ranging from 1st year to 15th year, all in the same building. No longer could we provide the exact same supports to every single person and continue to make the growth that we had been making. So I knew going into year 4, we had to do something different. And for me, I believed that was implementing personalized learning for our students. I was looking for us to push student ownership. Instead of telling students what they should learn, what they needed to know, I wanted students to own them, to be able to tell us what they were learning and why. For them to be able to make choices about what they were working on, why they were working on it, where they were working on it, who they were working on it with. All so that we can ensure that every student obtained mastery. Mastery that now wasn't at the same level for everyone, because everyone had different individual content they needed to know in order to get to their next level. At the end of year 4, I began to reflect. And what I realized was that our practice didn't seem that different. I didn't feel like we'd shattered the ceiling with this great personalization effort throughout the entire school, where it felt very different. We had some classrooms, individual teachers who tried some new things and innovated and personalized. But I just didn't feel at the end it was what I had envisioned and what I felt we needed. So as I reflected, I began to realize my big mistake. I asked teachers to do something that I wasn't doing myself. I asked them to spend time and energy planning for individual students and personalizing when I wasn't personalizing for them. I put them in a whole school PD. I gave them the same supports. I asked them to work on the same strategies. So I knew that I had to change something to model for my teachers what I thought personalization should look like, so that they then in turn could personalize in their classrooms. I gave a survey to my teachers asking them how they felt professional learning at Dewey was going in relation to meeting their individual needs and helping them to personalize in their classrooms. Here's how they responded. 26.7% of teachers agreed that professional learning made them look at their own practice and improve on it. 0% of teachers felt that professional learning was differentiated to meet their individual needs. Only 6.7% of teachers felt that the professional learning structures actually supported them in personalizing for students. And only 6.7% of teachers felt that professional learning at Dewey impacted and was improving student outcomes in their classrooms. Now, as a leader, knowing that professional learning is one of my key levers to moving student achievement, this was a problem. To paint a better picture for you, I want to introduce you to one of my staff members. Her name's Dr. Gunther, and I want to talk to you about her because I think she'll help exhibit exactly how some teachers were feeling. So, Dr. Gunther just finished her 9th year of teaching this year. She's what any of us would call a very high-performing teacher. She has consistently high ratings on every formal evaluation. Year after year, she grows students between the 95th and 99th percentile for growth. She reads books in her spare time. She finds new strategies she wants to try in her classroom. She even writes grants so that most summers she can go to professional learning that the school doesn't even have to pay for. She's one of those people that you know is going to be okay. But when I sat and talked with her during year 4, she was very frank with me. The professional learning at Dewey wasn't pushing her. It wasn't helping her become a better teacher on her career trajectory. That was mostly driven by her. And the key thing here is that as an organization of learning, I believe that every teacher, my highest performer, my most struggling teacher who's brand new, my middle of the pack, all deserve to feel like their professional learning and career trajectory is valued by me and by the school. And so I set out to change the professional learning structures to be personalized. I decided to pilot this year personalized professional development. I basically had 2 key pieces to this during this school year. The first one is choice professional learning communities. So in these, teachers were able to choose based on 2 things. They looked at a spectrum of where did they feel they fell in implementing personalized learning for their students currently. And then within those buckets, what topics most interested them. They picked that learning community, and then that group of teachers got together once per month. They studied the strategies, did research on what they could do to personalize under their topic of choice, tried it out in their classrooms, brought back student work, videos, evidence, analyzed it again, made adjustments, and then tried a new iteration in their classroom to try to perfect how to best use that personalization strategy. The second piece was 20% independent study projects. These were modeled after Google's model for releasing employees for 20% of their time to pursue a passion project of their choice. Teachers at Dewey were able to propose a topic that they wanted to study. They were then released from 12 hours of professional learning time and allowed to do action research around that topic. They then came back and presented at the end of the year their findings to the rest of the staff. What this looked like for Dr. Gunther? Well, she selected a professional learning community around student conferencing. So her group was looking at what were the different ways that they could implement student conferencing to personalize for students and support and coach them. And then she also selected to do a 20% project. Her project was named Project Virtue. She decided to study with her students the 4 cardinal virtues in Greek philosophy. Now, it wasn't just about learning the cardinal virtues, it was about actually exemplifying them. And what she really wanted to do was she wanted to analyze her own behavior and how she exemplified the virtues to see then if that was impacting how students could exemplify the virtues. So, for example, they were in class and a student was misbehaving, which in past years, Dr. Gunther would tell you, probably resulted in maybe being yelled at, maybe being kicked out of class, maybe earning what most Dewey scholars call the Dr. Gunther death glare. So instead, Dr. Gunther was, I'm practicing my temperance. And then she was in turn looking for students to practice their temperance when they had someone that stole their paper or poked them or said something that they didn't want them to say. How did this turn out for Dr. Gunther? Well, first, she decreased her class removals by 50% in 1 year. In addition, she gave her students a survey at the end of the year asking how she had exemplified the virtues in the classroom. One of the questions she asked was, do you agree that Dr. Gunther does not yell in class? To which the majority of students agreed, which is great. And she'll even tell you that would not have been true in her first 8 years of teaching. They did, however, call her out on some other things, which I was very proud of them for. They told her, we feel like you favor the boys over the girls. Which, at her end of year presentation, she said to all of us, guys, I do, I just like the boys better. But now, she's really working to make sure that that bias doesn't show through next year in her teaching. Additionally, she wants to pursue Project Virtue Part 2 next year as a second 20% time project. And when we had a panel discussion at the end of all the 20% presentations, she highly encouraged every Dewey staff member to pursue a passion project of their choice through 20% time. I went back and I asked teachers the same questions that I had asked at the beginning of the year around professional learning, because I wanted to see if this personalized professional development structure was actually more effective. Should we continue it? Here's how they answered. 80.7% of teachers said that they agreed that professional learning asked them to look at their practice and improve on it. 69.3% of teachers agreed that professional learning was differentiated to meet their individual needs. 61.5% of teachers agreed that professional learning structures supported them in actually personalizing in their classrooms with their kids. And 73.1% agreed that professional learning impacted and improved student outcomes throughout the course of the year. My argument is, personalization isn't just for schools. We live in a day and age of technology where you can personalize just about anything. If you're on the road and you just want everyone to know that you're a boss, they can know. If you want to make sure that no one steals your office supplies about your classroom, right there. You can search through 7-Eleven to find your boyfriend or your girlfriend or significant other's name to deliver them a personalized Coke bottle. You can even take your dog's face, put it on your socks. And me personally, I don't just send a text message with any old emoji. You know, I gotta have my personalized Bitmoji. Striking resemblance, wouldn't you say? So, we can do all this, and we know that personalization can make people feel valued, matter, like they're a favorite. Who is it that you need to personalize for? Who is it that you need to feel like a favorite? Is it in your business? How their entire career. To make them happy to come to work every day. Maybe it's on your daughter's basketball team that you coach. How can you personalize for every little baby baller out there? Whether they want to be the next point guard, whether they want to be a center on their high school basketball team, to help them develop their needs and interests in basketball. What about your family, your children? How can you personalize for your own kids so that they can realize and become what you most dream for them? Like I said in the beginning, don't you feel like everyone deserves to be a favorite?